Welcome back to the Slasher Siblings podcast. I'm your co-host Cicely.
And your host Hayden.
And today we're talking about the movie Pieces. So it came out in 1982. There's no rating on it. An hour and 25 minutes long. And it got a 6 out of 10 on IMDb. If you don't know what it's about, the co-eds of a Boston college campus are targeted by a mysterious killer who is creating a human jigsaw puzzle from their body parts.
Which is at least...
disgusting.
That's at least a interesting premise.
Oh yeah.
You know?
I didn't read this description before, but it would have made me watch it.
Yeah, but it's definitely a wacky movie.
Yeah.
Go ahead and read the question.
Question from last week. Wes Craven directed what 1991 film about two adults and a juvenile who break into a brother and sister's house and find something disturbing? The People Under the Stairs.
I haven't seen that one.
Which kind of, just by the question, makes me want to read it. Broke into a brother and sister's house and found something?
Watch, you mean?
And then, what?
You said read.
Watch. I said read?
Yeah.
Oops. Yeah, makes me want to watch it.
That does sound interesting, too.
Should add it.
What was it called again?
People Under the Stairs.
Maybe next month.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, so let's get into this.
Get into it!
I think wacky is the appropriate word here.
It is kind of wacky.
I like this movie. I don't hate it. It's definitely a good, bad movie.
Yeah.
It's, good at being bad. There's just, so many questions and plot points that just go out the window.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, starting off, immediately, right in the beginning, there's no title card or anything. It's just Boston, 1940.
Yep.
Immediately.
That's
or
it.
Whatever city. I think it was Boston.
It was
Boston. Just you had half a second to...
That's it.
That's it.
That's all you get.
And then you're immediately watching the movie. Which, I mean...
It was... I kind of like
fine,
that. I was
but
oh, okay, we're just getting
we're
into
getting
it.
into it.
Yeah.
It's I don't know any of the actors. I don't know the name.
All
I don't know. Let's do it.
I noticed that too. I clicked on it and I was like, did I miss something?
Did it just skip 5 minutes?
And then I checked the time and I was like, I don't know. This is
no,
right.
We're good. And then right in the beginning there, it's very painfully obvious that mom's a psychopath.
Oh my god.
She came in, saw
Chill, lady.
her kid doing a puzzle of a naked woman, and she throws a fit.
Chill. You have
I mean,
a
yeah,
son.
I wouldn't want
okay, first of all, where did he get the puzzle?
Yeah.
How did he get that? That's your responsibility to make sure he's not getting these puzzles. Obviously you had them somewhere in the house, or
who knows?
Somebody got them for him that you're trusting your son with. Come on.
But not only that, but I get it, you don't want your kids seeing that, but
also, it's not the worst thing in the world.
that was an overreaction.
For sure.
Shattering a mirror and throwing a picture.
That was ridiculous. Just be oh, come on.
Go get me a bag. I'm gonna burn all this.
I'm gonna burn it. Go get a bag, you piece of shit. I was calm
Whoa.
down.
She's
How
obviously
about just
a psycho.
take the puzzle away?
Come on, dude. Seriously,
Make him
grab it, walk
go,
out. Don't do this.
Do something else.
Yeah.
That was awful. And then the mirror, her throwing stuff against the mirror. I was
Bastard!
I was you're destroying your house.
Yeah,
She's you're gonna turn out just like your dad. I'm okay.
At least he wouldn't turn out like you.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not true, but...
God.
Then... So, the kid kills her, grabs an axe, beats the crap out of her with it.
I kind of wasn't too mad about it.
I wasn't really either, but... It was pretty quick thinking from the kid. He's putting the puzzle together and he hears the cops come in and stuff. He hides in the closet and starts crying. Like, on his part, that was pretty smart.
Yeah.
Like, he definitely made it look, oh, big bad man, where's mommy? Like,
Yeah.
fair enough. He did it. That was smart. You're kind of crazy, but you know, it is what it is. Whatever.
It's a movie. Whatever.
It's a movie. And then I feel like the very next scene, I think it was the 40 years later scene, the box where he's getting the stuff out of the box.
Uh-huh.
It just took forever, didn't it?
Yeah.
Didn't it like watch his hands for like 5 straight
Felt
minutes?
like 10 years.
Yeah.
I was like, what is going on here?
He's slowly pulling out the dress and slowly pulling out the shoes.
Yep.
And the puzzle or the picture or whatever. And it's just like taking so long just to get this crap. Let's go. And then, so there's the scene where the girl's on that little penny board going down the street.
Yeah.
And she hits the mirror. For some reason, they cut out the part where she smashes through the mirror completely fine. And then goes and lays down. Because the girl who got killed the first time, they're the first girl who got killed, and the girl who went through the mirror are the same girl.
Oh, okay.
But they cut that out of the movie for some reason. What was the point even having her on the skateboard and going towards the mirror if you're just going to cut it out anyway?
Yeah.
But okay. But he kills her in broad daylight. And I mean, so it makes it seem interesting, but like, why was the girl in a part of wherever she was that there wasn't a single person around to know that she had been murdered?
Yeah.
That seems like kind
How
of a
did
weird.
nobody?
No one heard a chainsaw screaming. Saw it? No one saw it?
Yeah. No one heard that?
Like, that was just, I mean, whatever. That's one of the things that was just like,
This doesn't
it was like, okay,
make sense.
okay, but it's like on the line of like not making sense.
I think it's an interesting choice of a weapon to use a chainsaw.
A loud ass chainsaw.
Like, I get it, like Leatherface,
Yeah,
whatever.
still.
But some random dude in a trench coat, like he whips it out of his trench coat.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Like, you hid that in your trench coat?
And he turns it on, and she's like, "Are you gonna be long? I'm gonna go somewhere else." Just go somewhere else. You sat there and now you're dead. You know.
Just go somewhere else, bro.
Like, I'm just gonna go somewhere else if you're gonna be forever. Do it then. Why would you want to
Leave.
stay there anyway? I wouldn't want to stay with some nearby. I wouldn't want to stay near someone who has a chainsaw, even if they're cutting down a bush or whatever. You know.
Why would you want to sit by that?
Exactly. I don't know.
Too loud.
She should have left. Then they go out of their way to make it look like it was the groundskeeper. Willard.
Yep.
They made it painfully obvious.
They made him creepy.
Creepy, and like they focused on him having the chainsaw, and it was like, yeah, this dude did it.
Yep.
And
Look at this guy.
They kept telling us the whole movie, like,
Eh?
it was him. It's
Check
this
guy
guy.
out.
You guys know it. Look, it's him. And then there's immediately after that, he's like cutting down trimming the branches or whatever. And the dean comes over talking to him. He's like, how long is this going to take? Like, you should hurry up so you can take other jobs. Like, he's the college's groundskeeper. So isn't he employed the whole school year? Or the whole year, rather?
You would assume.
But whatever. He said, it shouldn't take me more than 2 weeks. It's like, good. And then you can take another job. It's like, I just thought that was weird.
Yeah.
But then immediately after that, there was another, once again, an awkward makeout scene.
Oh, God. They make me so uncomfortable.
They're making out, laying on top of each other in the middle of a schoolyard, up against a tree.
Yeah.
As if the dean or someone wasn't going to walk
Yeah.
by or something like that. or teachers, whatever. I don't know. That was just weird to me. Awkward.
Very awkward.
And then there's the killer in plain sight. He's just walking around.
Yeah. No bigs.
Just trench coat, hat, scarf over his nose.
Uh-huh.
Just walking around the school, in the library. Is he that inconspicuous? I guess. I mean,
I guess a lot of people must have wore that.
I guess. Like, no one thought it was weird? That's another question. Is like, you saw this dude, right? And you didn't question it?
Not at all.
No. And then, I feel like the girl getting into the pool took too long.
Listen, I was like, oh my god.
Just get in the pool.
Just get in. And was taking off her top necessary?
No.
No!
Either leave it on.
Mean?
What's half of a bathing suit gonna do for you?
Yeah, when she was like, okay, I was like, okay, she's taking her clothes off to swim. She's taking 10 years, but that's what she's doing.
And why did she have a bathing suit already under her clothes at school? It was kind of weird. Anyway.
And then she just goes, rips off the top. I was like, okay.
That was unnecessary.
Just unnecessary.
But it was like they like zoomed in, or well, not zoomed in, but like sat there and watched her slowly take it down one leg and then the other.
Yeah, I was like, that's not real. Nobody does that.
No one does that. She's like sitting and just like
very dainty.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, this is just. It was unnecessarily taking way too long for her to daintily take down her pants when literally everyone on Earth just sits there and kicks them off their legs.
Yeah,
lets them fall to their knees and just like shimmies them off, like kicks them across the room.
The director was like, dude, this is slow
as possible.
Alright?
They did it again later. I don't know if No, I didn't write it down, but they did it again later with the dancer.
Yeah.
Watching her just like daintily take her stocking off.
I was like, guys.
And they made her take the heels off and then slide the socks over them and then put the heels back on.
Yeah. What was that?
What was that? Anyway, that's still coming up later. But yeah, so getting in the pool took too long. And then the dragging with the pool net, kind of awkward, because okay, so you have a pool net around your head, right?
Yeah.
Couldn't you just go down into the water? I don't think that the pool net is keeping you above water.
I don't think so either.
And then
if you think about it,
when she gets drug over to the edge of the pool, right?
Uh-huh.
And he drags her out of the water. She's like knocked out. From a pool net?
Listen, Hayden, you would be surprised what can knock you out.
I guess, but like...
I'm just kidding.
She's like fighting the pool net the whole time, and then all of a sudden she's just like, oh.
Oh, too much.
Instead of just like swimming under the water, taking her head out of the pool net, she's just like knocked out on the side.
Yeah. Swim down.
Just, swim down. Anyway, that's another question.
That was silly.
That's another silly, yeah. And then, this is one of the biggest questions I have for this movie, okay?
Okay.
So the groundskeeper, Willard comes in to the pool, touches the chainsaw, has the blood on his hand. He sees the kid, right? He chases them. And then this is the part where I get confused, okay? So he tries to chase the kid. The two cops come out of nowhere. Why were the cops right there?
Yeah.
So they start fighting Willard.
Yeah.
The kid has a 2x4, smacks Willard with it. Where'd the 2x4 come from?
Where'd you get that?
Where'd you get the cops? Did you get the 2x4 the same place you got the cops, or what? Like,
yeah.
So they're fighting Willard. He's kicking him in the pole and whatnot, making it out like he's the killer, right? And then in the very next scene, he's not the killer. Like immediately after they arrest Willard and get him calmed down and everything, the very next scene is the detective saying, "We need to go undercover. That killer's in there."
Yeah.
I'm like,
What was that?
I don't know. It just seems so weird that he was just. You had. Listen, I know it wasn't Willard, but like you had the blood on his hand, and he was beating the crap out of the cops, and you didn't question that? They just said they didn't have enough evidence. Dude, you had blood on his hand, on his own chainsaw that he uses to cut the grounds. You had at least enough to keep him.
Definitely enough to keep him.
And not only that, he beat the crap out of cops. If you really thought he did it.
How did he get away with beating the shit out of him?
I don't know. It was just, that's a big question that I had, that I was incredibly confused.
That was a little confusing.
That was a little wacky.
A little silly.
And then there's the scene where they're talking about wanting to put the people undercover, which I thought was kind of interesting. And he's like, listen, we don't have very many people in the department. We're shorthanded. This is strictly volunteer. Can you do it? And she's like, is it going to be dangerous? He's like, yeah. He's like, I'm in.
I'm fucking bored.
I was like, okay, cool. That also doesn't seem very likely that she was just like, is it dangerous? I'm in.
Count me in.
I'm doing my part. It just seemed like...
She goes, I'm falling asleep over here. I was like,
I want a murderer to chase me.
Fun.
Fun. But yeah, that scene was kind of interesting because the reporter came in somehow. I mean, rumors. They go around, but like somehow the reporter found out, and he was just like, I don't know what you're talking about. Go talk to her. And he dips.
Yeah.
It was funny. He pawned it off on the new girl, or new undercover girl, and he was just like, I'm out.
Gotta go.
Oh, that just made me think of a question.
What?
The reporter was in the police station, right?
Yeah.
He says, go talk to her. The other cop, right?
Yeah.
But then later, the reporter's trying to get answers for questions, but she didn't think to question the tennis coach. Why was the tennis coach, who was in the police station earlier, who was a cop,
right, at the school
as a tennis coach? Maybe
they didn't recognize her. She was a blonde.
But apparently the kid recognized her, so she's obviously a famous tennis player.
Which also is like, what? Why is she a famous tennis player
and
also a cop?
That doesn't make sense.
Like, obviously, you probably make enough money if you're that famous.
Yeah, it didn't make sense. But, like, how did she not put two and two together?
Maybe they just didn't know it was her.
It was like, hey, I saw you at the police station. You're a cop. Why are you pretending to be a tennis coach at this college that there's rumors of a bunch of murders?
They did not piece that together.
They didn't piece that one together, apparently. Then there's the scene where he's stalking the dancer. I thought that he was going to kill her right there.
Oh, I thought so too.
He was like looking through the window and
Did
like
you notice
walk
all
down.
The noises he was making?
The heavy breathing and stuff.
Makes
it creepy. Yeah.
I was like, I don't like hearing this.
No, I don't want to listen to this anymore.
No. Turn the volume down.
It definitely made it like creepier.
Yeah.
Which
job well done.
Yeah, for sure. Which is fair.
Fair.
You know? That's what they wanted.
Yeah, every time that it was like his breathing, and it kind of sounded like some gurgling too. Like it just, like it was like, I was like, all right,
settle down.
All right, you're creepy enough as it is. I don't need to hear that.
And then he's talking to Mary about going undercover, and it's another instance of like, I don't know, it's another instance of like questions that weren't answered. Like, how did these people that see Mary previous to this all of a sudden just are okay with her being
forget who she is?
Yeah.
I really don't get. I don't
understand that.
Unless they just, she was undercover. So when she put that jacket and that hat on, baby, you cannot recognize Mary.
Clark Kent.
Under.
Superman puts on
Cover.
glasses. He's Clark Kent.
Boom.
No one knows.
Tennis hat. Tennis jacket. I have no idea who that is.
I mean, it's kind of like a similar thing with like Superman.
Yeah.
Like it was always kind of a funny thing that he just put glasses on and then instantly he was
no one
another
knew.
person. But it's also like, how much do you really look at Superman?
I guess.
You know, he's like fighting.
How much do you
and
really look at a world famous tennis player?
exactly.
Would you recognize Serena Williams if she came up to you like not dressed like Serena Williams?
Probably not.
Yeah.
It'd
think
probably
that's
just be
their
some
theory.
chick who's at the coffee shop or whatever.
Yeah. That's their theory. We debunked it.
Maybe. That's possible.
That's it.
There's a show I watch, Letterkenny,
Yeah.
and there's a woman on there who plays Bonnie McMurray, who's a famous character, a favorite character on there. And I saw her on TikTok, and she had changed her hair color, so I didn't recognize her. And she was saying like, you know, whenever I see someone wearing a Letterkenny shirt, I'll just stare at them, and they never figure it out because she's in the show and they're wearing a shirt from the show, and they never know.
Wow.
And
That's what I'm saying.
it actually took me a minute. Like, I didn't recognize her, so I looked in the comments, and the first comment said Bonnie McMurray. I was like,
No.
whoa. She changed her hair color. That's all she did. And it was like, I didn't recognize her. It was weird.
So that's what I'm thinking.
So
That's
now
what
that you
I'm
say
thinking
that,
happened.
maybe it's possible. Who knows?
Maybe just nobody recognizes her either.
But the thing is, I'm pretty sure I'd recognize Johnny Depp or like Keanu Reeves or...
yeah, but they're like
I guess
real famous.
Not only that, I guess you kind of have to stare at their faces in movies.
They're like real famous.
Like Serena Williams, you don't stare at her
You
face.
know one tennis player, and it's Serena Williams.
Yeah, but you don't
know another tennis player?
You don't like actually see her face. You watch her play tennis. So if she
Also,
was in...
do you watch tennis?
No.
Do you watch Johnny Depp movies?
Yeah. You can use it, okay, for hockey players then.
I
Malkin.
wouldn't know any hockey player except maybe Sidney Crosby.
Maybe. But
Chris Letang, I'd probably recognize.
yeah. But still, like, it's because Sidney Crosby is the face of the Penguins right now. You kind of have to stare at his face. But if it was like, I don't know, I forget who their goalie is. But if you saw their goalie in street clothes, you probably wouldn't recognize him.
No.
So I guess that's fair.
I think we're on the same page.
I don't know why we spent 7 minutes
I don't know
talking
either.
about it. And then there's the tennis match. I thought it was kind of awkward. It was just like the same scene over and over again.
Yeah.
Mary wasn't moving.
No.
She like stood in the same spot and kept smacking it back, like ping pong or something. And then the other girl lost, even though
And then that was it.
And then the other girl was like running all around the court. And then Mary's just like,
Ding, ding. It's because she's a
professional. She doesn't have to move.
No.
The ball comes to her.
The ball gravitates towards her.
Then that goes back to the scene of the dancer, okay? So she's dancing alone for some reason now. And then she's slowly taking her stockings off and stuff, right?
Yeah, correct.
So why did she start running?
I think she just heard noises and... Right?
So she decided, I'm just going to sprint?
That's probably what I would do. Not gonna lie to you. If I heard some random shit going down, I'd probably just start running.
Right, but it just seemed like kind of like out of nowhere that she just decided to run.
Yeah.
And
Maybe
then
it was a woman's intuition.
when she gets to the elevator, the creepiest dude in probably the entire building walks up beside you, and you don't question it. You're just
I'd be
running
gone.
from nothing.
I'd be gone.
I know.
Bye.
But she was just running from nothing. Just maybe a noise, if
And
anything.
then he scared her, and she was like, "Ah,
You scared me.
he scared
Let's
me."
get on the elevator together, even though you have a covered up face and a fedora and a trench coat.
Yeah. No biggie.
No biggie. That's not creepy at all. Just say, oh, I'm going to take the stairs.
You know what? I'm feeling a little extra motivated today.
And then immediately after this elevator kill, there's just a random ninja.
Yeah, what the hell was that? I was like, am I still watching the same movie?
Well, apparently the dude who was directing it
Uh-huh.
was also directing kung fu movies at the same time, and he just inserted a Bruce Lee lookalike for no reason. He had no reason to have him in there. He just wanted him in there.
He's just like, you know what?
You know what? Let's just add him. Throw it. Fuck it. Throw him in. You know?
Yeah. It caught me off guard, I won't lie.
Yeah, it did. It did for me too. It's just like this random ninja dude just comes out of nowhere and starts beating up this undercover cop.
Yeah.
And then they explain it. Oh, hey, my kung fu professor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
That's what they said. My kung fu professor. I was like, professor?
You mean sensei?
You mean...
Not only that, but like...
I was like, that's not two things that go together.
No, it's not. But like, even if so, okay, kung fu professor.
That was so dumb.
That was so dumb. So, okay, kung fu professor, right? The kung fu professor is beating up the tennis coach?
Yeah. Why?
That makes no sense. And then, okay, so he's a kung fu professor, right?
Right.
How did she knock him out with one kick?
Yeah, shouldn't he be better?
Not only that, like, how did one kick to, like, the
One
chest?
swift kick.
And he was just
it
like,
wasn't even
oh!
like a hard kick.
No. And he was just like, oh!
Oh!
And he just, like, fell over.
Yep.
It was like...
Okay.
And then he's like, oh, bad chop suey. Next
Yeah.
thing I knew, I woke up on ground. I was like, this makes no sense.
Yeah.
And I mean, in the trivia, it said that, like, hey, like, he just inserted it for no reason. Like, just cause.
He was just feeling frisky that day.
Yeah, he's feeling frisky that day. But, yeah, they just inserted it for no reason, apparently. Which, whatever, I guess. Fair enough.
To each their own, I
To each
suppose.
their own. But then there's the reporter snooping around, which I thought was weird because, once again, like I said, the reporter had no idea that Mary, the cop, was Mary, the tennis coach. She didn't put the two and two together, right?
Yeah.
And then she's like in... No one even died yet in that area. Well, the elevator, I guess. But like, the reporter... I don't even think they found the reporter's body, did they? Do you remember them? I don't remember them.
I don't remember either.
I think it was the elevator kill.
Yeah.
And then like they just left the... What's her face? Reporter lady just dead.
Yep.
In the
Yeah.
in the waterbed.
Yeah.
But no, it was just that she was like snooping in an area that like had nothing to... Why was she snooping in the waterbed area?
That made no sense either. I
What
was like,
clues?
what are you doing here?
What clues are you trying to find? Number one. Number two, I don't think you're gonna find information for your newspaper just by snooping around a college that a murderer is
it's
at.
also like frequenting.
But okay. But then she immediately dies. Right after that.
Yeah.
Just straight up stabbed through the mouth.
Through the mouth.
And
Looked pretty gruesome
yeah.
for the 80s too.
And it was apparently a real knife that the actor was using. So she was like really like scared to do this scene, apparently.
Oh.
Except for obviously the stab part, because you could see it hit her head and then like veer off to the side. Did you notice that?
No.
I mean, you probably won't ever watch this movie again, but the scene where he's stabbing the reporter through the mouth, he hits her on the back of the head, and then the knife just, like it was like plastic, it just veers off to the side of the head. You can see it right in the scene. It was funny. I didn't notice it the first time I watched this movie, but when I rewatched it for this, I saw it. Oh, I see it. And then he was chasing and killing the tennis girl. Is it me, or was the shower scene unnecessary?
Yeah.
I don't know what that did
It
for
served no point. Just to show her naked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That seems like that was the only
That was
reason they
it.
did it.
I was like, oh, okay.
Fair enough, whatever. And then, right after that, he kills the tennis girl. Cuts her in half, right? Leaves her body, her torso sitting there. And then, randomly, Mary is outside the door after they found the body, and she just starts yelling bastard.
Yeah.
What was that?
I was like, okay.
On Shudder, what did you watch this on?
Tubi.
On Shudder, they have like a little comment section under each movie, and the first comment is just in all caps, bastard, because they said it like 6 times throughout this movie. But it was just like, she's just sitting there screaming. You're probably next now. You know that, right? You're probably gonna get murdered next because you're sitting there screaming bastard. But whatever. And then Mary goes and talks to the dean. It seemed like unnecessary and strange that she needed to go talk to the dean just to ask a question about Dr. Brown.
Yeah.
Probably could have like waited. And the other thing too that I was thinking about is I'm pretty sure Mary didn't pose any threat to the dean.
I don't think so either.
And this is the moment. We'll get into that part in a couple seconds. The dean is acting incredibly strange. Obviously, we know what it is now.
Yeah.
The dean's the killer. But like, he's just acting so weird. For no real reason, I don't think. To me personally, I don't think that he had a reason to. I mean, he just wanted to kill her, I guess.
Uh-huh.
And then we figure out it was the dean. It was painfully obvious that he was, because he drugged her and he started like gonna cut off her feet and stuff. So I think he just solely wanted to kill Mary. I think that's the only reason he did it. Because I don't really think that he posed a risk to the dean. She posed a risk to the dean because she would say something and then he would like give her this weird look like, yeah, she's on to me. No, not really.
I don't think she is.
She didn't.
I don't think she'd be here if she was.
She was suspecting Professor Brown or whatever.
Yeah, not you, buddy.
And we didn't see him for the rest of the movie after he looked at the body. I think. Did we see him after? No, the last time we saw him was those students were making fun of him.
Uh-huh.
And that was the last time we saw him for the rest of the movie.
I think so, yeah.
Which was also weird, but it was like, okay, so you're killing her just to kill her so you can cut off her legs or something, because you definitely had no reason to think that she was on to you.
Yeah, she's just a part of the puzzle.
And why was it Mary's legs that he wanted when he just cut that girl in half and took her legs? He has the legs, right?
Maybe, who knows? Maybe he just wanted that girl's
Or
legs.
you know what? Maybe the shoes didn't fit her.
Oh, God.
And he was going to cut her feet off and cut Mary's feet off and puzzle the Mary's feet onto it and put the shoes on.
Yeah.
Probably. And then he was drugging Mary. What kind of drug was that?
I don't know.
That she couldn't move, but she was like still fully awake.
It was weird to watch.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess it's possible that drug exists, you know? But it just seems like awkward.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, she's fully conscious, 100% knows what's going on, but she can't move. It just seems like a weird drug to me. But whatever.
Sure, it's out there.
And then, okay, so the policeman and Kendall come in, find Mary. She's, not moving. And both policemen leave Kendall and Mary. A college kid and one of the cops that can't move. They just straight up leave looking for the dean.
Uh-huh.
That doesn't make any sense.
No.
At least one of them should have stayed with Mary and Kendall. At least one of them. And then they also come back for no reason. They just decide to come back into the room that they couldn't find him in to begin with, but whatever. So, what's his face? The main policeman guy shoots the dean in the face.
Uh-huh.
Which seemed like so anticlimactic. But I mean, it also makes sense. Like, what are you gonna do?
Shoot him.
You're a cop with a gun. He's trying to kill someone.
Yeah,
shoot him.
Shoot him.
But it was like, oh, he's dead.
Yay.
He just killed 7 people throughout the movie. He's dead now. Done. Movie's over.
That's it.
And then I thought it was funny and actually kind of clever the way that the detective found the body puzzle piece jigsaw thing. He's just like talking, he's like tired, and he just like leans on the bookcase, not thinking of it, and just shoots around and lands on Kendall. Like, that's kind of a clever way of finding her, I guess. Fair enough. Whatever. But it was actually kind of funny the way he just like fell.
On accident.
Yeah, on accident. And then has to be the weirdest ending to a movie ever. He pieced this body together, right? Who is like supposed to look kind of like his mom, I guess, after he already chopped her up into pieces. The body comes to life and squeezes his nutsack.
Yeah.
And pops his balls.
Like, what?
What the hell just happened? You know?
Why was that the thing?
Why was that the ending that you chose? Whatever. Okay, so the movie's over.
That's it.
That's it. And, I don't know. I gave it a 5.
I was gonna say a 5, actually, yeah.
Because there's a lot of questions.
I mean, it was alright.
It wasn't bad, yeah. But whatever. It was an alright movie. Not something that I would just like, oh, let's watch Pieces again or something, you know.
I would say no.
Okay, so for the fear facts today, I have 5. One's a long one. The first one, the blood and guts in the movie were animals they were taken from a slaughterhouse.
Oh, God.
It was real pig's blood used in the movie, which is why the gore looked so
disgusting.
good. Yeah, disgusting and real. But they also used a pig carcass for cutting the tennis girl in half.
Oh, okay.
They actually cut a pig in half. It was obviously already dead, but like they actually took a chainsaw into the pig, which is a pretty good practical effect. This is Eli Roth's favorite movie, like favorite horror movie.
Who's that?
I can't remember what movies he's known for, but he's a pretty famous like director and whatnot. But it's like his favorite movie. It just seems like interesting choice for a favorite movie. Okay. Including the dean's mom, the body count is 7 in this movie.
Oh, wow.
And for my final one, that's a little bit of a longer one. This is about that skateboarding girl that I was telling you earlier. The skateboarding girl who crashes into a mirror and Virginia Palmer, the co-ed who is decapitated by the chainsaw while lying on the grass, are in fact the same person. In an interview with actress Roxana Neto, she explains that her character skates through the mirror but survives with apparently no visible injuries. This scene is witnessed by the dean, who gets the idea to create a perfect woman using pieces from other women, then stalks and kills the skateboarder Palmer, making her his first victim at the college, and this scenario was never explained in the movie. So it seems like kind of a vital piece of information, if you ask me. Because the girl he first kills is the reason that he even thought to do this. So I don't know why they cut that out.
Yeah, that's weird.
But whatever. That's all I have. You want to say anything about this movie?
You guys should watch it. It's on Tubi for free.
It's also on Shudder if you have the Shudder app. I love the Shutter app.
It's worth a watch.
Yeah, it's
Just
worth
to
seeing
see
once.
what we're talking about.
I don't really think.
I'm not gonna go out of my way to watch it again.
No, me either. Well, the next movie we're going to do is the new Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
We're going to watch it on Thursday and record on the same day to get it out to you, our opinion on the new Haunted Mansion movie. So if that's a movie you're thinking about watching, like soon, obviously don't listen to the podcast yet.
Yeah.
For that episode, it's going to get spoiled. But if you want to know how it is before you go see it, obviously
listen.
Tune in. So the next question, what does the green liquid contain in the 1987 film Prince of Darkness? So get that into the Facebook comments and let us know what you think the answer is, and we'll shout you out. Yurt. So that's all for this week. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for tuning in, squad.
Thanks for sharing, commenting, so on and so
Yada.
forth. Share with your friends and your dogs.
Your dogs.
Have them listen to the podcast.
Shout out Pete and Waylon.
That's it. And we will catch you next week with the new Haunted Mansion.
Catch you later.